started. We'll do one more thing here. Alright. Welcome to class, everyone. Thanks for joining me. You take a comfortable seated position. You can prop the hips up if you feel like it'll make things more comfortable. We won't be here too long. Just want to take a few moments to settle into the hips and the spine. And once you get settled in, you can have the backs of the hands resting on thighs and knees, first finger and thumb together in Yana Mudra. You can have any other hand gesture that helps. You kind of just feel settled. And as you close your eyes, just notice that the eyes wander around a lot. And if they do, a difficult time like gazing toward the tip of the nose or between the eyebrows internally, you can always open the eyes just a little bit to look at one point toward the floor. Knowing that stilling the eyes will help to quiet the mind a little bit, helps to focus more on our breathing pattern. So we'll draw our attention to the physical sensation of the breath moving through the nose and the throat. Notice that the inhalation and exhalation lengthen on their own just by bringing attention to the breath. Let go of any unnecessary tension in your body while you exhale. Just going to notice that there's tension around your eyes, your jaw, your shoulders. You feel like you can sit up tall without feeling rigid. Stay mindful of the breathing pattern. Start to bring some attention now to our intention for class. And this could be something you'd like to manifest in terms of your health or well-being. It could be a spiritual aspiration you have within your own heart. And as you continue to focus on that intention, take the next 3 breaths with awareness at the heart center, right behind the sternum. Palms together in front of the heart center. We ask and trust that our practice today supports this intention and moves it towards its fullest expression. We'll chant Hari Om 3 times together to open up the practice. Inhale. And you can either continue to sit in a cross-legged seated position, or you can go into Vajrasana, sitting on your heels. If you want a block, bolster, a combination of props to make Vajrasana more available to you, you can set yourself there. We're going to be doing Kapalabhati, so we'll be here for like maybe 2 minutes. So make sure that you are comfortable and you can settle in. So if there's a block in between the feet and hips raised a little bit, might make it more comfortable for you to sit back down onto the hips. We're going to practice Kali Mudra. This is where the first 2 fingers and thumbs are pointing straight up. The rest of the fingers are interlocked. Arms are going to be alongside the ears. The arms are going to extend up overhead to get this nice expansive feeling around the lungs, upper back, rib cage area. We're going to close our eyes, gaze up in between the eyebrows in Sambhavi Mudra. And remember, this is a short, sharp exhalation through the nose, so it's a forceful breath out and a passive breath in. When you get this all set up, close your eyes, Sambhavi Mudra, and we'll begin the first drum. Deep breath in. Exhale. Lower the mudra down in front of the heart center. Relax your eyes. Take a few resting breaths. Some time for observation. You might notice you can take a full breath in with less effort. Notice the condition of your mind. We'll do one more round at the same length. Arms up. Kali Mudra, Sambhavi Mudra, and begin. Breath in, and we'll lower the hands, relax your eyes, a couple resting breaths here, relax your shoulders. And slowly open the eyes, we'll come on to all fours. If you feel like you need to stretch the legs out a little bit or the ankles, you can do a little paddling here when you're in plank pose. Just get some extension back in the legs and you work out the ankles a bit. And then we'll all meet up in tabletop pose. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, fingers spread wide. Then tip the tailbone up, chest and head are lifting. We're going to take a full breath in here in this shape. Before spinal wave, as you exhale, you'll leave the head up, start to tuck the tailbone first, feel lower middle, upper back move, and then relax the neck at the end. Keep the head heavy and start to tip the tailbone up. Follow the wave-like motion up the spine, lengthen the rib cage as you lift the head, and that's one round. You'll continue with that at your own pace. Just finding some fluidity as you articulate the movement along the spine. Feels kind of rigid or stiff. I just kind of loosen it up, explore a little bit. Try not to be so exact with the movement. Really just looking to loosen up muscles along the spine, upper and lower back. And then as we start to articulate the movement a bit more, we start getting more into strengthening those deep muscles that hold the spine in place, those paraspinal muscles, and the muscles along the spine. Start to notice some muscles in the back loosening up. Maybe some more fluidity starts to happen along with the movement. Take your time, do one last round. The next time you inhale, let the spine come more to a neutral position. Make adjustments with the palms, fingertips. Get knees closer toward the midline for hip rotation. So right leg goes up, keep that right knee bent. Try not to lift the hip up too much when you take the leg back. Really focus on engagement of the glute. Then we take the leg off to the side. Hip will lift up a little bit higher. When you take it to the center, bring it slightly forward. And then basically you're hitting those 3 points and moving the leg in more of a circular fashion. We're not correlating breath with movement, but we want to make sure we're not holding the breath in or out. And we'll stay on the same leg and reverse the direction. Knees closer together, shifting body weight, left leg goes up, side, center, and slightly forward. You feel those front hip muscles and the abdomen engage slightly as you take that knee back to center, glutes, back line of the body, firing up as you take the leg back and up. And we'll reverse the directions down the same side. And the knee comes back down to center. Line the knees up. Get the wrists a little wider than the mat. Fingers pointing in the opposite direction. We're going to sweep the hips from side to side next. Keeping both palms on the floor. Then the right leg or hip comes close to the floor without touching. And back to center here. We're going to add some breathing associated with the movement. So when I inhale, we bring the hips back to center. You might even pause there at the top or slow the movement down as you follow through with your inhale. And then we feel like the hips suspend for a moment as we follow through the exhale. One more time to the right and one more time to the left. If you find your way back to center, we'll get the knees more hip width distance apart. Keep right wrist where it's at. Point the fingers forward. The left hand to the base of the skull. And then we do those thoracic spine openers. As you exhale, scoop the left elbow toward the right wrist, twisting at the waist. And as you inhale, you'll twist, open the chest slightly toward the wall on your left. And go back and forth with that exercise, keeping the right arm and upper back supportive throughout the movement. Last round here. So on your next inhalation, we'll set up the left side. Left arm supports, right hand to the base of the skull. Nice long feeling in your torso before taking that exhalation and twisting toward that left wrist. And then opening up navel and chest toward the right. Another repetition of the movement, free up the spine here and his muscles. You'll feel a little engagement around the right shoulder blade at the end of your inhale. And a bit of a stretch in between the shoulder blade and the spine at the end of your exhale. You don't have to wrench the arm back. Make sure you're not pushing the head forward or straining the neck in any way. Last round there. Next inhale. We're going to take child's pose. Once that right palm's down, knees forward, butt mat width distance apart. Big toes touch. You get the hips back toward the heel. Stretch the arms out in front. That's the rib cage between thighs and hips. And then if the head touches, great. If not, you just let those neck muscles relax. And then take a few breaths here. Feel the rib cage expanding out in all directions. Lower back, a little stretch. With the heart and head up, we're going to slide the head forward, bring the forearms down, interlock your fingers, get your elbows shoulder width distance apart, and then keep your shoulders over your elbows, stretch out the legs, so the legs are about hip width distance apart, straight, hips aren't any lower than your shoulder blades here, And then once you have that position, if you want to bring the knees down, you can. Otherwise, keep the legs charged up for a low plank pose. So either one, knees down or knees up. Take about another 20 seconds here. So if you straighten the legs, you can bring the knees down at any point. You start losing integrity in the navel. Fire up those rib cage muscles. No breath retention. All right. Now if the knees are up, we'll bring them down, followed by the thighs and hips, and then the lower belly. Nice long feeling in the navel before bringing the flat of the belly down. And interlock fingers over the hips, arms straight as possible. And then once we have this position, we engage the glutes, so lift the feet up. Strong back to lift the heart. Make sure we're not compressing the back of the neck. We'll take a few more breaths here in locust pose. Relying on more movement to happen in the upper back and chest when you breathe in. Down, release the mind on the next inhale. Turn your head to the right, left ear to the floor. Let everything settle in here. Make minor adjustments with the head so that when you're turning the head this way, there's no pinching. Feels like shoulders are relaxed more away from the head or ears. Everything settle into the floor. Now on the next inhale, lift heart and head up, turn your head to the other side, and settle everything back in. Next inhale, lift heart and head up, chin back to center, hands under shoulders, curl the toes under, push chest and belly away from the floor, and then take downward facing dog, getting the hips back and up. It feels good to bend one knee, press the opposite heel, and alternate the legs. Do that. Check in with your breathing pattern, still regulate your breath about 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. Next inhale. Top of a push-up just for a moment. Next exhale, knees down, hips back toward heels, draw the navel and relax the neck. Next inhale, head forward, shoulders stop over wrists. As you take the chest through the arms, keep the navel firm enough so we don't rest in the lower back. And then curl the toes under, strong navel and hips to take the hips back into downward facing dog. We're going to do that 3 more times. Top of a push-up as you inhale. Child's pose as you exhale. This version here. Looking up dog, you got the chest through the arms, peel the shoulders back, lift and lengthen. Exhale. Downward facing dog. We'll do 2 more. Go at your own pace. Connect your breath with your movement. One more round. Take your time. Get up in downward facing dog. That downward facing dog, after a resting breath, start walking hands toward feet. The heels reach the floor, pump halfway to the length of the torso. Bend the knees generously, get hands under the feet, tucking the fingertips toward the heels, toes toward creases of the wrists. Find a bind as best as you can. Relax the neck muscles. Hold the shape here. Take a few more breaths in Padahastasana. release the bind. Strong legs, belly, and back. Inhale, come all the way up, sweeping the arms to the side, touching palms overhead. If you want, lean back a little bit. And then neutral spine and hips as you take Tadasana. A couple resting breaths here. You might adjust the feet. Make sure the knees aren't locked out. And take a breath or two for observation. Keep the body in one plane, so don't lean back with this one. Take the arms up, grab your right wrist with your left hand. Take a lean off towards your left, Ardha Chandrasana. Come back to center as you inhale. Grab the left wrist with the right hand. Lean towards your right. Inhale, center. Forward fold, lead with the chest on the way down. Relax the neck at the end. Ardha Uttanasana, hands slide up the legs, lengthen sternum away from belly button. Back into the deep forward fold, exhale. And come all the way up as you inhale, strong belly, back, and legs. You can lean back this time if you'd like. And then end up in Tadasana. Let's do that one more time. We're going to add the side stretch, remember, so arms out. This side, let's grab the left wrist first. Take a lean toward the right. Inhale, center. Grab the right wrist into the left. Upper navel's firm, so we're not flaring the rib cage. And a deep forward fold on the next exhale. Halfway up, strong back. And then next exhale, back into the forward fold. All the way up on the next breath. Then really root through the heels and the ball off of the toes there. And Tadasana. From Tadasana, start to shift your body weight into the left hip. Externally rotate your right thigh. And then get the foot to the inside of the calf. Or if you're getting on the thigh, make sure you've got the right foot well above the knee. You might need to grab the ankle there. And then palms can either stay in front of the chest. Arms really move forward. Feel more confident with your balance. I'd like to interlock the fingers and press the palms up toward the sky. Feel free to take that option. Either way, soft gaze at one point, an immovable object or a point on the floor. Free breathing. Down for up. We'll release that right foot down. Take a moment, feel your body weight shifting into that right side. Then externally rotate the left thigh, toes point off to the side. Keep shoulders nice and squared off toward the front. And take the left foot up as high as you took the right foot up as best as you can. So into that shape. Work with the mudra that you worked with on the last side. Check in with your breathing pattern. Release and arm down, left foot down. We'll walk a little bit more toward the middle of the mat. Left foot's going to stay forward. We're going to take that right foot back a little longer than legs length distance, so we get more of a warrior stance here. Got a strong back leg, shoulders nice and squared off toward the front. Root into the base of the pelvis, back heel and left heel, and palm off of left big toe. So you have that stance here. We'll take the arms forward, up, slightly back. Remember, we don't want to shrug the shoulders here. Finding whatever boundaries we've got within the shoulder. You feel like you sink into your lower back. Flare the front rib cage forward in order to feel like you're taking your arms back. I want you to make that adjustment so navel feels firm enough. So we're supporting that lift of the rib cage and not resting in the lower part of the back rib cage. stay here in the lunge and being aware of what's going on in the torso like we just discussed. I want you to take the arms down on the exhale and sweep them forward and up on the inhale. I want you to do that 2 more times. Strong lower half of the body. Stay with it. Inhaling forward up. Exhaling up. And feel some shifting in the rib cage and the shoulder blades. So you don't have to be stiff, but be aware of that flaring of the rib cage or sinking or dumping in the lower back. Okay. Now we're going to do, when we take the arms down, we're going to straighten the front leg now. Interlock fingers behind your hips. We had when we had locust pose. Forward fold over the front leg in Parsvartanasana. Keep shoulders squared off toward the floor. Spine in line with the inside of the front leg. Next inhale, strong belly and back to come up. We'll release the hands. We'll heel toe the right foot forward just enough so that we can switch the legs. Remember, we'll take a stance a little bit longer than the distance. That warrior stance. A little gap there between the inside of that right foot and back of the left heel. Take time to settle into that lunge. No forward pressure in the knee. Strong back leg. Once you have this position here, find that warrior stance with the arms up, and then just notice rib cage, lower back. How does that feel? Now you might, when you make that adjustment, straighten that front leg. Now if that's happening for you, you may choose to take a little shorter of a stance between the front and back heel. Otherwise, see if you can maintain that and settle back in. But there shouldn't be any unnecessary torque in the back knee. And then once you establish that, you do that pretty simple movement. Exhaling down with the arms, slowly sweeping them up. Start to pay more attention to what's happening in the shoulder blade. Think about the upper arm bone in the shoulder socket. And shoulder girdle, so that's much of a socket, isn't it? One last one. Stay with the lunge, with the integrity in the back leg. And we'll interlock fingers behind the hips, straighten the front leg. Leg is straight without locking the knee out. And we'll take the forward fold over the front leg. Torso is going to come up. Release the hands. Go to the back foot forward, and then we're more toward the front edge of the mat with both feet parallel. Settle into heels. Ball mount and big toe. Ball mount pinky toe. Take 2 more resting breaths. On the next inhale, arms sweep up, lean back if you'd like. You might engage your glutes. Take forward fold, exhale, bring the fingertips all the way to the floor. Left foot goes back, back knee down. Sweep arms and torso up, lunging crescent moon. Twist toward your right. Left arm braces against the thigh. Remember, if this isn't an option for you, you can always have left hand on the floor, right hand straight up or on the thigh. If you've got the bind, the arm against the thigh, press palms together, stack the elbows. You can choose to sink into the hip here with the back knee staying down, or strong back leg and stay here in revolving side angle. Any variation options that you choose. And the next inhale, come out of the twist. Fingertips to floor, strong hip and belly. Take left foot forward, right foot goes back from a runner's lunge, lunging crescent moon on the inhale, and then the twist on the exhale. Keep the navel long, twist from the waist, and all those options. So same variation practice on the last side, on this side. Checking with the breathing pattern. Remember, the navel is going to feel a bit more restricted here. Notice how your body is responding to the breath. On the next inhale, we come out of that twist. Fingertips to floor, strong hip, right leg forward. Once both feet are planted, inhale, come up. We're going to lean back just for one full breath in and go right into the forward fold. Back with both hands or fingertips are on the floor. Both feet go back. And then we'll lower it all the way to the floor. And once you're down, lengthen the navel, bring flat of the belly down. And then we're going to take Sphinx pose. Elbows under shoulders, forearms and wrists shoulder width distance apart. Settle into hips and take the feet a little wider than your hips, about mat width distance, I think. It's helpful for a lot of us to bring more availability into the hips, sacral area, and lower back. And remember, we're on a strong back and shoulder here, soft forward movement with the chest. If this feels like it's ever too much in the lower back, you can always take your elbows further forward. Elbows way out, lower the flat of the belly down. And reach back either for the outside of the ankles for bow, or from Sphinx pose, you want to lift your elbows up. Further the extension of the spine, you can take cobra or bow. To your choice. Taking bow, right at the crook of the ankle there, engage the glutes just like you did for locust. Help lift the thighs up. On the collarbones. Breathing. Sure, even though the breath might shorten a little bit here, you want to make sure there's no breath retention. More comfortable with movement in the upper back and chest area when you breathe in. And in those air variations, either cobra or bow will lower down. Release the bind if you have bow. Cross the wrist, place shin on cross wrist. We're going to bring the legs close together. Tops of the feet to the floor. Big toes touch and heels fall away from each other. Take a few resting breaths in Medtrasana. Get the heart and head up. Hands under shoulders, curl toes under, your chest and belly away from the floor. You're going to leave the knees close together and then sit back in between the heels this time. So this is Virasana. So if you have a block bolster, if you need a blanket, fold it up under the hips. Make sure the hips are supported by something, if not the floor. Once you have the lower half of the body established, we'll take alternating swimmers. Right arm starts up, Left arm starts underneath. And then on the exhale, we'll draw the fingertips toward each other along the spine. You might not touch, that's okay. As you inhale, you're going to rotate in the opposite direction. Exhale, fingertips toward each other along the spine. Go back and forth at your own pace. Make sure you're not forcing anything with that lower arm as we take that shoulder into internal rotation. Repetition of the movement. Free up the joint. Strengthening those muscles in the shoulder girdle. Do one more with the right arm up and one more with the left arm up. Take your time. Finish that last round. We'll come forwards. Take any props off to the side. Take downward facing dog for 1 to 2 full breaths. And then we'll come down. Make sure heart and breath feel regulated. Take a couple resting breaths from child's pose or any seated position. So we start working on forearm balance. Forearms are down. Wrist shoulder width distance. Rooting through all the palms, fingertips, forearms. You can take mat work here by lifting the hips up in dolphin pose. Then explore one leg lifting with knee bent at a time. Keep that chest back, lift the hip. 3 to 4 breaths on each side. Got a wall or a sturdy piece of furniture around you where you can get the feet up against the wall, or either a couch or a chair that will not slide. You can always take that version where you're lifting the hips up, like this, possibly into that. If you're adept at forearm balance, you want a wall behind you to jump up. Please be careful, make sure that you feel confident with these first few exercises that I demonstrated, so that you know that you have the capacity in the shoulder, not just strength-wise, but also with the mobility of the joints, the availability that we need for this directional mobility in the shoulder, thoracic spine, not just the strength, but also capacity for joints to move in this direction. Make sure you have all of those in play, and those first few exercises really help us to develop confidence around those components. We've always got mat work here. Still getting feet over hips, hips over heart, and heart over head in a full inversion, just one leg at a time. Make sure you take resting breaths when you do come out of your inversion work. And then, if you've moved your way toward a wall, you can move your way back to your original place in your room. And we'll meet up in a seated position for the legs in front. Seated forward fold. Your seated twists are more comfortable for you with elevated hips. Go ahead and get something under the hips now. Now this just gives you more availability in the back line of the body. Let's just sit up tall if the hips are a little higher than the knees. Decide for yourself. Left leg's going to stay extended out. Right knee's going to bend, sole. The right foot's going to go to the inside of the left thigh. Also have this left knee bent. As you start to forward fold, just notice if you already start to give into the upper back and find a little more length. Remember, we can always have the palms stay on the floor. We can have the bind with hands and calf. As we continue to go further into the forward fold, there's going to be some flexion in the spine. Just be honest with yourself about overstretching muscles that are already overstretched. And sometimes people like to bridge the gap between the hand and the foot with a yoga strap or a towel. You can grab the foot, maybe with any bent, gain a little length, find a sweet spot, and you get that back line engaged, stretched, without any pain. There should be any tugging behind the knee, no tugging in the lower back. All of the breath into the body. Soft eyes. Take your attention inward. Inhale, slowly come out of that shape. And then we're going to switch sides. Right leg extends, left knee bends. So left foot to the inside of thigh, settle into hips, lift and lengthen. Take the forward fold, crease of the hip, lengthen sternum away from belly button. Find a bind that works for you. One side might feel a little different than the other. Once you've made your minor adjustments, find your sweet spot, hold the shape, and concentrate on the breath. And we're going to keep the left leg bent. Again, you can keep the hips propped up. Get your right ankle in front of the left. So your left ankle, or right ankle in front of the left. It's called Easy Adept Pose. And then once you have this shape here, you feel settled, sitting up tall. You're going to have your right hand supporting, arm is in line with your torso and hip. And then take your left arm up alongside the ear. You're going to start to lean toward your right. I want you to bend the right elbow instead of shrugging the shoulder. Drop that shoulder, scoop that elbow in as you bend. Some of you might even end up with the forearm touching the floor. Now that's not going to happen for some of us, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be a goal. I'm just saying if that happens, that's okay. If you need to move your hand out a little further because you feel like you still have some access here in the left sideline, also do that. What I'm going to encourage you not to do is just compress the right side of your torso. The lift and the lengthening and the opening of the chest just as important as the leaning toward the right. More about creating space and opening up the space between left rib cage and hip, all the deep intercostal muscles, shoulder blade, shoulder girdle. You're breathing in and out. On the next inhale, engage the side body to come up and out. Take a breather, notice the difference in the sides, and then switch the ankles. Left ankle in front, left arm is going to be supportive. Open up navel and chest, right arm overhead. Just like we worked with when we were standing though, don't shrug the shoulder, Don't jam the shoulder up. Wherever that natural boundary is, let's just stay there. Let's work with what we got. And then take the side stretch. Drop that left shoulder blade down the back. Bend the elbow. Hold the side stretch. If you feel like your breath is short, starts to feel erratic, you might be going a little too far into the stretch. Once you find the shape, you should be able to regain a pretty fluid, full breathing pattern again. Exhale, coming up and out. Take a breather. And then we'll extend the legs. We're onto the back, taking props off to the side. And then once you're on the back, bring knees up towards shoulders, grab thighs, wrap arms around the shins. And we're going to do a little rocking from side to side. Massaging the muscles along the spine. Allow the head to also rock a little bit from side to side as you continue to relax the jaw, relax your eyes. Once you're back to center, and bring the soles of the feet down. If you feel like stretching out the legs, doing a simple bridge pose, it's because we're kind of finishing some of the forward folding and the twisting. That might feel good to you. Simple bridge again might just bring some physical compensation into hips or the spine for you. Take your time, just assess the body. If you feel like some other shape will bring further compensation into the body, go for it. But if you feel good, once you extend the legs out, start settling into corpse pose. Put something under the knees or something over the eyes. Another layer of pose to maintain body temperature. Set yourself up. And find whatever your most comfortable and neutral position is for the physical body. Take the first few breaths. Use the exhalations to facilitate more relaxation, letting all the muscles and the bones give in to gravity. All the muscles and bones give in to gravity. Use those first few inhalations to draw your attention inward. Feel the breath move through the nose, the throat. Notice the rib cage moving as you breathe in. Soften the navel. Allow your fullest and most comfortable breath to come in. Keep settling into the shape. As you continue to settle in, reminding ourselves there's nothing to do. There's nowhere else to be. There's nothing to do. There's nowhere else to be. movement through the physical body. Start taking deeper breaths in. Take your time. Some stretching into the sideline. Lie on the side for a breath or two. Eventually find your way back up to a comfortable seated position. Again, you may want the hips a little higher than the knees. We'll do a pretty simple but effective breathing technique. It's a good technique, I think, to take into your daily life, like throughout the day, because it's something that I find to be pretty effective, even if you're just doing it for a couple of minutes. If you need a pause, just need to quiet the mind for a little bit. If you feel like there's a lot of things coming up for you, you feel a bit overwhelmed, just do this breathing technique for a couple of breaths and see if it helps you to create some clarity, calms the nervous system, takes us out of that fight and flight mode of the nervous system. So once you're in a seated position, you can relax the fingers, have the thumbs touching, and any comfortable seated position when you're doing these breathing techniques, even if you're at home and you're sitting in a chair, you don't have to be on the floor or anything. Start to feel the breath move in and out through the nose. So when we have that physical awareness of the breath, it really does help us to draw the attention inward and starts to create more of this presence that we want to feel, less distractions than illusions of the future or memories of the past. And we're allowing the inhale and exhale to do whatever length is comfortable for us. We're not creating a particular ratio with the breath. Every once in a while you might feel like you take a longer breath out, maybe even a deeper breath in. Allow yourself to do that. Eventually, as you continue with the breathing practice, the breath does tend to even itself out and it starts to feel more calm. So as you establish whatever your natural breathing pattern is, start adding a 1 to 2 second internal and external breath retention. 2 seconds feels okay for you, you can do about a 2-second breath. You can start just with a 1-second pause. Keep your eyes soft, your jaw relaxed, shoulders relaxed. Even if we're in this seated upright position, notice any unnecessary tension you can soften while keeping that integrity of the shape. That's it. Keep breathing. Allow it to feel natural. Add that short internal and external breath retention. Honoring that space lies there between the inhale and exhale naturally. Just one more minute. your breath retention on the next inhale or exhale. Just let the breath go in and out of one another. Take a moment for observation. Noticing the condition of the mind, the nervous system, causing significant changes that you might feel in your physical body. Palms together in front of the heart center. Take a moment for reflection and gratitude. Anything that moves through our hearts and our minds, we'd like to acknowledge and give thanks for. So the practice by chanting Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Inhale. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May all beings, without one exception, know peace and be with the stream of suffering. So it is and so it shall be. Guys, everyone, thanks for joining me. If you have any questions, any comments, suggestions, concerns, please email us at info@tejasyogachicago.com. We always would love to hear from you. We love having you practice out there with us. And I hope you have a good rest of your day.